Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Kenroy here. Now, video, I'm giving you a little update as we are doing some more harvesting in the garden. Now, I haven't been planting anything as we're approaching the end of summer. It's very much about harvesting a lot of what we've been planting over the past, I don't know, 3-4 months. And it's finally time for us to harvest some of these gorgeous yellow tomatoes which I've currently got in the greenhouse. I've also got some more in the walkway leading up to the garden which are ready to be harvested, and I just can't wait. We've already started picking some of these bad boys and they taste absolutely amazing. By far one of my favorite varieties so far. I'm surprised with how tasty they are, and we've been leaving them to ripen on the vine and we've not been disappointed. Today we're also harvesting some of these beef tomatoes, and I mean guys, look how huge these guys are. Definitely growing them in the greenhouse, I've noticed the difference in terms of size. I mean, you can see just behind me how tall the bushes have gotten. I've chopped these back time and time again, but because of the heat and the temperature, it's still 25 degrees here in the greenhouse and it's after 7 in the evening. We're having a last push. Summer is finally here, even though we're coming out of summer, which is quite typical. But today going to be harvesting some of these tomatoes. Now, like I said, I've tried to leave them to ripen on the vine as much as possible because I want them to be nice and soft and juicy, and yeah, it's time for me to harvest these guys so that the others that are coming along can start ripening also. I'm trying to remember what the variety is called. I believe they're sunburn or sunburst if I'm not mistaken. But whatever they're called, they're absolutely delicious. These ones are ripe and ready to go. You don't get much more vine ripened than these, and yeah, I've been really impressed. At first I thought it was going to be a washout. I was worrying about sort of disease and mold affecting them, but I must say overall, apart from a few bites from some insects, probably primarily slugs or something, I've been really impressed with these tomatoes. Now I'll just try to pick them without actually disturbing the other ones which are on the vine. So I'll get the really ripe ones, and what I'll do, I'll leave the others for a day or two, so that way, you know, we can have more in the days to come. You can see this one's been bitten by something. Not sure what causes that, and that one as well. However, I'm not bothered about that. That's simply going to be cut out and we're going to enjoy these gorgeous tomatoes. Let me get under here. I've been waiting for these guys to ripen. They've been a lot slower than the other tomatoes, the yellow variety, these beef ones. I've only had one off of here so far which was being damaged. It started ripening quite early. I think I picked it from over there, and I can see these ones are starting to change color. They go ever so slowly, but look at the size of this. I mean, I've got massive hands guys, and this thing easily takes up the whole palm of my hand. So that should give you an idea just how huge they are. And the one at the back is even bigger still. Now I'll only harvest just this one as it's quite close to being fully ripened. A couple of days on the windowsill in the kitchen, and this one should be ready. But it's just beautiful to look at. Let me get my scissors. It's hard to film with holding the camera. Oh, look at this guy. My first proper beef tomato. Thing is just huge, and this isn't even the biggest one. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in the kitchen and see how long they take to ripen actually now that it's been picked from the vine. And we've got tons more. There's another big one there, there's another one, and we've got around 3 or 4 at the bottom, and we've still got some more coming along. So the good thing about the greenhouse is that even when the time starts to change and, you know, the weather starts to get a bit cooler, we'll still have a lot of heat in here, which is nice. I mean, just to give you a size comparison, that's one of the beef tomato versus one of the yellow variety, and the yellow ones aren't tiny by any stretch, so amazing. Okay, we've got one little pepper left on this tree. I think it's about time I just picked that because it's not getting any bigger. Just a little green pepper, which again, can't complain about. I got a few off of the tree so far, but the good news is we planted some a bit later, and this guy's looking absolutely huge, and it is just absolutely loaded with blossoms, and that one coming right behind it. So I think we're going to get even more off of these new plants. I just need to keep them watered so they don't dry out and damage the fruit which is growing on there. We haven't got loads left in the greenhouse, but we did plant this courgette plant a little bit late, and I'm surprised to see that it's actually flowering, guys. And if you look really closely, you can actually see some courgettes growing, which is amazing. One of our friends did some pickled courgettes, and we are just so in love with those things. We thought, why not try to grow some ourselves? Normally I grow at least 1 or 2 plants each year. This year was the first time I didn't actually sow any seeds. Over here we've got some spinach, which we can just pick for our salad, as well as some chard, which is growing back after harvesting some. So yeah, there's not a huge amount of stuff in here. I've got some lettuce down there, some more chard, some yellow variety chard as well, I think, down there, along with our kale, which is bouncing back after being attacked by those caterpillars. I had to trim most of the leaves, but these things, as you can see, are so resilient. And yeah, that's pretty much all that we've got in the greenhouse at the moment. One thing we always end up having is loads of tomato just growing wild, which we didn't actually plant, but these probably came up through the compost which we had from last year. And as you can see, we've got some like little cherry ones there, or plum, and look at this guy hanging off for dear life. A nice sized pumpkin here, guys. Look at this. Ooh. I probably should move this from here. Don't want the vine getting damaged. I'll probably do that a little later on as it's coming over. And we've got another one just over here. These are really decent size. I must confess that I didn't do as much as I normally do in terms of growing pumpkins this year. But if you're West Indian, you know all about a nice dry yellow pumpkin, and these guys can store for months and months. So I'm really happy to see that coming through. We've got more tomatoes in the back here, which again I didn't plant, but I can see they're starting to ripen here. Yellow variety, and there's just loads just falling over in the back. Sweet corn, I think we can harvest a couple of sweet corn today. I think these aren't particularly big, but the ones that we harvested before, they were so sweet. So I'm hoping that will also be the case for these ones. I haven't mastered growing sweet corn just yet, but it's a work in progress. We've got some more over here as well. These ones look like they could be ready, or maybe not. I mean, when I feel them, they feel pretty sparse on the inside. That's the only downside. So I don't know if I should leave them a bit longer, but then again, if you leave them too long, they start to dry out. So a bit of a catch-22 really. I'll just pick a couple of the larger ones and call it a day. One thing that's been doing really well is our cucumber plant, which was planted in our vetiver raised bed, and it's still going strong. We've been harvesting a few cucumbers every other day, and yeah, we've been harvesting so many that we haven't even been able to eat them all. So we've been juicing them, and yeah, some really good size, and they're really sweet. So no complaints here. Now I wanted to show you guys these, but they're not fully ripened yet, but you can see the colors are starting to kick in. Now these are some chocolate tomatoes, that's what we call them anyway. They go quite dark brown. They're ridiculously sweet. The girls love them, and so do we. As you can see, we've got tons and tons of them coming in, but they ripen very slowly. And yeah, I'm just going to pick a couple of these so that it can ripen in the kitchen. Oops, don't want to drop them. They're just really nice for lunch boxes and just to snack on, really. If you manage to see these varieties in the store, I highly recommend them as they're quite good. We've harvested so many strawberries this year, and as you can see, we've got tons of runners which have already started potting up. I do need to separate these for next season. It's a great way to propagate your strawberries, and you have unlimited amount of strawberries. But I had a little peek as there's so many foliage, and as the foliage has gotten so big, and look at this, we actually got some blossoms coming through, guys. So with any luck, we should have a late harvest, a late crop of strawberries. I mean, this is absolutely amazing, and yeah, it's a welcome surprise. So with any luck, we should get a little bit more strawberries before the season's over. Really need to figure out a way of writing down the variety of these vegetables that I'm growing, because I have no idea what these are. I mean, they look kind of like beef tomatoes, but they're definitely smaller, but I'm sure they're going to be equally as tasty. I mean, I don't really care what they're called as long as they taste good. I know it sounds bad, but we've been harvesting so many runner beans that it literally becomes a bit overwhelming. But I'm going to pick a few of these ones. I've been leaving quite a few on the tree, on the vine, because I wanted them to go mature and, you know, get quite solid. Because the longer you leave them, the more stringy they become. So you typically pick them when they're still fairly young. But I've been leaving them because it's just so much, guys. If you want some runner beans, just let me know. I can post some to you. I don't know how I'd get them to you, but yeah, when you let them get too big, they're just not as tasty unless you're gonna have them as, you know, proper beans, dried beans. And you always get these guys, freeloaders. Oh, I found the mother load. So many there. I think I'm going to leave those ones. I think that one's huge. So yeah, I'm going to try and see if we can leave these to dry out over the winter. So this is what the beans look like when they get mature. These haven't dried out yet, but you can see the size of these things. It's as big as my big thumb, which is by no means small. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to leave these ones to just continue mature and dry, and then we'll basically pick them, figure out what we're going to do to preserve them over the winter. So far so good. There's just absolutely tons on here. We haven't been picking off this vine. Hello Lottie. You see some tricks? Ready, steady, catch. Too good. What have I done? Did you find it? Of course you did. I'm not throwing it anymore.